In this vid, we're going to focus on the biceps. TRX exercise called the TRX curl for the biceps. As always, secondary muscles are going to be engaged when we're doing this. That's what I love about TRX. There's always so many secondary muscles helping you keep balance. So you're going to feel a lot of core work here, a lot of squeezing of the cores as you're using these TRX to really work the biceps. Right, so make sure the TRX is safe and secure. Grab the TRX, both hands upturned in a hook grip, so your thumb is round. Don't just use overhand because you're going to put strain on your wrist. Excuse the birds. So, find a comfortable position for your feet, extend your arms and let the TRX take your weight. And what I want you to do is a nice controlled pull up and squeeze at the top. 1, 2, 3, and down. 1, 2, 3, and up. 1, 2, 3, and down. 1, 2, 3. Now at the top, when I'm right at that top point here and I'm squeezing, I'm trying to pull the wall down. So I'm literally squeezing the biceps and I'm trying to pull it down. You know, I'm really trying to pull that wall down. So much so that I'm even digging my feet into the floor to stop me pulling forward. And that's what you want to think when you're at the top. That's the key contraction to work the biceps. When you're at that top point, really squeeze it. Squeeze the muscle as much as you can. So again, just to go over it. Get comfortable. And explode up. And squeeze that bicep muscle. Pull that wall down. 1, 2, 3. And down. 1, 2, 3. And up. 1, 2, 3. And down. 1, 2, 3. It's not about pumping. It's not about this. It's about slow control technique, allowing your core to engage, to hold yourself in that pine position. And it's about taking your time. Think about the negative. Think about slowly uncurling your arms to really work that muscle. And at the top, really squeeze the biceps. Really squeeze them. Try and pull up. In this video, we're going to talk about a TRX back pull, but in a neutral hand grip, so we're working the biceps. There is the incorporation of the back muscles, the lats, traps, but there's also primary work on the biceps because of the action of contracting and using our arms to pull us in. So this is all about keeping your body stable, your arms locked in, and really focusing on using your biceps to pull you in once you're in a supine position. It's fantastic, again, for a lot of secondary muscle incorporation. So as I mentioned, the back's going to get a good workout too, as well as the arms. And it's just a variation of the TRX curl. So it's a really good one after you've done some TRX curls, which you can look out for in my previous videos. It's a really good one to change your grip up, to go from palms up to thumbs up. It just changes the variation and the location of the muscle you're working for your biceps. So, as always, make sure the TRX is in a safe, secure place. You can strap it to something, or if I haven't got much space, I like to put it through a secure door. Just make sure it's secure. So again, with feet position, it's something you've got to play around with and get used to. I would always advise, if you're standing 180 degrees, just maybe sort of step in just a little bit from that and just lean back. You don't want to be going too deep like this, and again, you don't want to be going a bit too easy like this. It's all about just finding what works for you. Because, as with all TRX exercises, it's about taking your time and taking it slow and making the muscle work through the whole range of movement to get the good benefit. So what you want to do, get your good feet placement, lean back, and what I'm doing is, I'm not like this, I'm locking my shoulder blades back. Imagine there's a Coke bottle between your back and you're trying to hold it between your shoulder blades. That's the action you want. And from there, you're going to pull up like this. And if you can see at that side, see how my bicep muscles are really straining to keep me there. And we're going to go back down for 1, 2, 3. I'm still holding the Coke bottle. My shoulder blades are still contracted back. And I'm going to explode up for 1. And I'm going to squeeze my arms right now. I'm squeezing my biceps as hard as I can. And down for 1, 2, 3. And up. 1, 2, 3. And down. 1, 2, 3. And up. 1, 2, 3, and down. 1, 2, 3. And this part here, this peak, I'm pulling the door. I'm really, really working the bicep. I'm pulling it as hard as I can to really get tension and really get a squeeze in my bicep as much as possible. Because this is where the damage is done. On the negative phase and the squeeze to really make the muscle work. So that's it. And you want to be aiming for, between 12 and 15 reps here. Nice and slow, nice and controlled. Take your time with them, get used to where it feels. Again, lots of good secondary muscles are incorporated there. My stomach, my core as always is keeping my balance. A little bit in my quads there, just holding me, my glutes too. So a lot of good support is coming from the hip flexors, which is really working me and keeping me stable. In this video, we're going to look at the triceps, and we're going to do a skull crusher, but with a neutral grip. Now the triceps have 3 heads, hence the name tri. So in my other video, I talk a lot about the skull crusher with a normal grip, which is where you're holding it at your head and you're extending out. Now to change that up and hit a different head of the tricep, we're going to shift our grip to a hammer grip or a neutral grip. So the skull crusher is going to be held like this, and to do that, we're going to use the straps to support ourselves as opposed to the handles. As always, when you do these skull crushers, the TRX skull crushers, there's a massive amount used of your core and your abs. You really get a solid ab workout. Loads of bang for your buck on this one. I love it. All right. As always, make sure the TRX is nice and secure. Get it over your shoulders. And I want you to grab the straps here. So you're grabbing the bottom of the straps like that. Find where it's comfortable with your feet. As always, if you stand a little bit further out, it's a little bit easier. A little bit further back, and it's a lot harder. I would play around, find what works for you, find what's comfortable. Again, it's always about good form, good technique, nice slow movement, contracting the muscle at the top, making it work. It's not about pushing yourself too much. It's about taking your time and stability. So, hammer grip. Make sure you've got a little bit of tension at the top there. Always looking straight ahead. I'm contracting my stomach to keep me here, which kind of happens naturally. And what you're going to do is, you're going to bend the arms until your thumbs touch the top of your head, and you're going to squeeze and push up, and squeeze at the top, squeeze the triceps. But what I'm doing here, I'm pushing my knuckles together, I'm pushing my hands together like this at the top here, just to exaggerate that squeeze even more. So, let's start this again. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, down, and squeeze up, squeeze at the top. 1, 2, 3, and then 1, 2, 3, down, and squeeze and push up. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, down, touching the top of the head, and squeeze and push up. 1, 2, 3. Now I can already feel that just after 3 seconds burning. Now the reason we only go to our head and we don't take it further beyond these points is because it just puts too much strain on the elbow. Some may argue that it's not doing the full range of movement because you're not going back, but I promise you, the key to muscle development and putting the muscle is wearing the muscle down so it builds, is putting it under tension and contraction, and it's time under tension, which promotes muscle growth. And we're getting a lot of time under tension from that negative phase and the squeeze at the top. Now there's plenty of other exercises you can incorporate, such as chair dips, if you really want to exaggerate and get a full length contraction. But I still promise you with this, you'll still get a really good workout on your triceps, even when you're just going to there, which in my opinion is more than enough. Okay, in this video we're going to be focused on a TRX triceps. Now this is the beginner, so this is the main TRX exercise to really work your triceps. Again, the secondary muscles, which I love about TRX, always incorporates a lot of secondary muscles for stability. A lot of core is going to be used in this. You're really going to feel your core as you're doing them. The exercise is called a TRX skull crusher, and it basically means that you press away from your skull. Now, 2 key things to remember when you're doing this. When you're holding the TRX, again, it's always in a hook grip. And you're going to hold the TRX handles together and push them together as you extend out. So the form of the movement is to hold out like this. You curl into the top of your head. Once you touch the top of your head, you press out. Now the reason we don't go behind the head or too far out to the side is it puts too much strain on the elbow joints. Excuse the birds. And all you want to be working is just the triceps. And yes, you might get a bigger range of movement if you go deeper, but it's not worth the strain it puts on the elbow joint. And you'll get just as much benefit from taking it nice and slow on the negative and squeezing at the top and pushing your hands together. So, get the TRX, make sure it's secure, safe. Put it over your shoulders. Again, I always mention this, your foot position just depends on how you want to challenge yourself. If you go really deep, it's going to be very hard. If you go a bit further out, it's going to be very easy. If you're just beginning with TRX, I'd suggest you just find a midpoint and just play with it and see what feels comfortable for you. So, proper grip with thumb underneath. Find your comfortable position. Head forward, looking forward. Feel your core, tense your core to keep you in this position. And you're going to slowly bend the elbows for 1, 2, 3 to hit the top of your head. And press and squeeze. Push them together. Squeeze the triceps. And down. 1, 2, 3. And press up. And squeeze. 1, 2, 3. And down. 1, 2, 3. And squeeze up. 1, 2, 3. And down. 1, 2, 3. Throughout all that, my core, my stomach, my ab muscles are really tense in there to keep me in that position. Much better than being on a bench where it's easy, no support. That's what I love about TRX. And again, just remember, when you're at the top, squeeze, so really squeeze that tricep. Push the hands together and you'll really feel the triceps work. Nice and slow on the negative, nice and slow, yeah? All about control. TRX is all about control, taking your time, lots of reps, and slow negative phases. That's how you get the most benefit out of it. Video, we're going to be focusing on the TRX L-sit hold. Now, you might question this exercise, why don't you just use a chair? It's basically tricep dips. Well, I prefer to use a TRX because the way you hold yourself allows you to go much deeper, and also the way we're going to hold ourselves, we need to incorporate a lot more secondary muscles to stabilize ourselves. And this is something I always go on about TRX, why it's so good, because you incorporate a lot of stabilizing muscles, so you get a lot more bang for your buck. So, this is obviously for the triceps, but it's really going to incorporate a lot of shoulder work as well, and a lot of core stability. Get the TRX in a secure spot. I've just got it hanging from the door here. Now, the action to do this, it's a bit of a strength exercise as well. It's going to be lower rep ranges than normal, maybe between 5 and 10 reps. So, get the TRX, and you want to hold it in a hammer grip. Now, a hammer grip is like this, as if you're holding a can of Coke. Position the TRX in the hammer grip, just either side of your bum. Now, you don't want to pull it in too close. You want to be slightly pushing outwards, just ever so slightly. Get your balance. Now, the easier it is with more of a 90-degree leg angle. It's much harder if you go straight out. There's a lot more weight on your triceps. So to begin with, I like to just start testing my strength, see how I'm feeling. Legs just beyond 90 degrees. And we're going to go down for 1, 2, 3, and pause nice and deep, and come up, and squeeze and hold for 1, 2, 3, and down for 1, 2, 3, pause, and back up, and squeeze. I'm really squeezing my triceps there at the very top, getting the most engagement I can. And down for 1, 2, 3, and back up, and squeeze. 1, 2, 3. Now as you do this, you're going to feel a little bit of wobble here and there, but again, it's just all about stabilizing yourself and using your shoulder muscles, using your core. If you want to take it more advanced, put your feet right out, a little bit easier, bring them in, and you can get right down and up and hold and squeeze. 1, 2, 3. You can also rotate your hands if you want to vary it up and target a different tricep head. But the main one, the most beneficial, is the hammer grip. That's going to target your 2 main tricep heads. Give it a go, they're hard, take your time, you will feel it, work your shoulders as well. In this video we're going to be focused on the one-hand TRX bicep curl. Now this is great for mixing things up. If you're quite used to doing the beginner ones, which are just the standard curls like this, or even the hammer curls, and you find you want to change things up, they're getting a bit too easy. Well, this is the one-handed curl. So, let's get straight to it. Make sure the TRX is set up nice and secure. You're going to want to pull the ropes in quite far. You're only going to be needing one, so get it in quite close. Pull it down, make sure it's secure. And the setup is relatively easy, but you are just going to need to be used to using the TRX, used to be able to hold in your body weight a little bit to perform these correctly. So, the stance, just get yourself in the stance as if you were going to do a normal TRX curl with both of them. Move slightly across just so you're more balanced, and take the strain under one hand. Sometimes it's easier to use the other hand to stabilise yourself. Again, the distance of your feet, that's entirely up to you. The more you go in, the harder it's going to be. The further out you are, the easier it's going to be. Now the same principle still applies. Nice and slow, a lot of squeeze, and you're going to find a lot of secondary muscle incorporation from your abs and your lower back to stabilise yourself. So, to begin, start at the top with a squeeze, find a comfortable feet position, and down for 1, 2, 3, and squeeze, and hold it there for 1, 2, 3, and I'm really trying to pull the TRX off the door there. I'm really pulling it for that squeeze. So back down for 1, 2, 3, and up, and hold for 1, 2, 3, and back down for 1, 2, 3, and squeeze again for 1, 2, 3, and back down. And that's it. It's relatively simple. Obviously then I would swap it up. Same principle, set myself up as if it's a normal one, take a slight side step, take the strain and get in a comfortable position, and begin. So down for 3, and up, and squeeze. You want to be looking at a rep range of maybe between 1 to 8. They are quite a strength exercise, this. Even if you stand further away, which makes it a bit easier, it's still very, very hard because it's just one arm. The great benefit is, though, you can really, when you get to the top, you can really bring your arm right in and squeeze. You know, it's a little different to this because you're kind of constricted because there's only so far you can squeeze it in. With one hand, you saw how I was leaning back. It's because I really like to get that squeeze right up, and I don't like to get my chest muscles in the way as I'm doing it, so I can really squeeze the biceps right at the very top to touch all the heads. Give it a go. Let me know how you get on. Any questions, leave them in the comments. I always get back to people. If you haven't seen my TRX beginner series, please check that out. Subscribe to my channel because I'm always posting about TRX exercises and ways to keep fit without a gym. Thanks for watching.